Hi everyone. About a month ago I went to see a play which you may have heard of. It's called One Man, Two Guvnors, and it's at the Adelphi Theatre. As you might be able to tell from this programme, James Corden is in it, and if you're English, if you live in the UK, you most likely have heard of James. If you're from anywhere else in the world, you still may have heard of him because he's quite a famous comedian here in the UK. He was in Gavin and Stacey, not that I watched him in it, but you know, he's done a few TV shows. And I've never really been a massive fan of James. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know much about him. I mean, I'd see him on like TV and stuff, but I didn't really know anything about him particularly. So I can't say that the main reason I went to see it was James. In fact, the main reason I went to see it was because my friend recommended it to me highly. She'd seen it a few times already, because it was at the National Theatre before it transferred to the Adelphi Theatre, and she'd seen it a few times, and she was like, you have to go and see this, it's amazing. Because, you know, it's a play, as I said, and I don't usually go to plays, but, you know, I listened to my friend and I went along with her, and I ended up absolutely loving the play. Like, I actually fell in love with the play. It's a comedy, and it is hilarious. It's exactly what comedies should be like. I mean, I was laughing pretty much throughout the whole show. I mean, it takes quite a lot for me to laugh. I'm not one of those people who, like, laugh very easily. You know how some people kind of, like, you know, laugh at everything. I'm not like that, especially at shows that, you know, it has to, the material has to be really, really funny for me to actually laugh. And so, you know, the fact that I did laugh a lot at the show means that it was amazing. All the other people in the audience were like full on laughing, and I probably wasn't laughing as much as they were because, like I said, in general, I'm not that kind of, I don't laugh easily. But I still found it hilarious, and out of all the plays that I've seen, not that I've seen very many, but it's definitely the funniest one. Right, so the storyline is basically revolved around James Corden's character, Francis. He becomes a minder to two different governors at the same time. But obviously he doesn't want the different governors to know about this, so he has to kind of try and work for both of them without the other one knowing that he's got two jobs, basically. This itself creates a lot of visual comedy throughout the show. There's one particular scene in, I think it was Act 1, where James's character, Francis, has to make dinner for both of his governors at the same time. And that was probably one of the funniest scenes in the whole show. It was hilarious, him trying to kind of get everything ready for one of the governors and then go to the next one without the other one finding out. It was brilliant. Now, one of the governors is played by Jemima Rooper, and she plays a character called Rachel Crabb, who is actually disguised as a man. Basically, she had a twin brother called Roscoe Crabb, who was murdered by Stanley, who happens to be James Corden's other governor. It's quite hilarious, actually, the whole thing. Jemima Rooper, I thought, was incredible in the show. She really got the character of Rachel, and she was just brilliant. Very, very funny, always in character, and just fantastic. The guy playing Stanley, the other governor, was called Oliver Chris, and he was also fantastic. His character is meant to be quite a posh, snobby governor who kind of can get on your nerves after a while, and I thought he really got the balance right, because the way he spoke, because in that posh voice and stuff, got me a bit annoyed, because, you know, nobody really likes snobby people. But at the same time, he did it in such a funny way that his character became instantly hilarious. So yeah, great performances from both of the governors. But to be completely honest, the main part of the show is James Corden. I'd probably even go as far as saying that the show is basically James's show. That doesn't mean that the other actors in the show don't do anything or aren't good or anything, but James does really steal the show, in my opinion. I mean, his character is just hilarious, and he's on stage pretty much all the time, and he makes the most of that character. He is so funny. He just, so hilarious. I never knew he was such a brilliant actor, and, you know, also so good at improvising. Because there are a few parts in the show where, because there's loads of audience interaction basically in the show, and there are some parts where the audience didn't react the way they should have reacted, and James started laughing on stage, but which made it funnier really, because, you know, it's always funny when you see someone laugh on stage. But then he recovered really well and tried to kind of continue the show, and I thought that was hilarious. Also, just, you know, as a warning, the audience interaction doesn't end as just an interaction, kind of verbal interaction thing. Some audience members do actually get to go on stage at some part of the show, and that's what I'm going to say about it. I don't want to give anything else away, so yeah, just go and see it for yourself. But yeah, it was just a hilarious show. It's opening on Broadway in a few months' time, I think, with this cast, some of the members, not all of them. I know that James is going to New York, so he's going to be in it on Broadway, which is kind of a shame because I would have loved to have seen him again, but I don't think I will get the chance now. I think all the remaining performances at the Adelphi Theatre are actually sold out right now, but you can still get day seats, which, you know, means you have to get them early, before 10 o'clock, and just queue up and buy tickets front row for about £20, I think. That's what I did when I went to see it, and that was completely worth it because, you know, I was front row, and, you know, it was just so good being so close to all the action. Yeah, After it finishes at the Adelphi in, I think, mid or end of February, it's going to Theatre Royal Haymarket with a slightly different cast. James's current understudy is going to be the lead then, who I haven't seen, obviously, because I've only seen the show once, but I've heard from people who have seen him, and he's meant to be really good. So I'd be interested to see him. I mean, like I said, for me, James was the main reason that I enjoyed the show so much, I think, but I would be interested to see someone else in the character, because I think the character itself is hilarious, and it'd be nice to see how someone else plays it. Also, one thing that I forgot to say about this show is that although it is a play, there's quite a bit of music involved in the play. Before the show even starts properly, there's like an actual, like a real proper band on stage playing some songs, and all throughout the show, after every few scenes, the band goes on stage again and plays like a number, and then they go back, and then yeah, it's really fun. Very, very entertaining, brilliant script, great visual comedy, great verbal comedy as well. The humour is very much British, but I think anyone would get it because it's hilarious. I can't imagine anyone not getting the humour. And yeah, in my opinion, it was probably the funniest play that I've seen ever. Although, the 39 Steps was also funny, and I'm a big fan of that show as well, but this was a different kind of funny, basically. So I'd say this One Man, Two Guvnors and 39 Steps are probably the funniest shows that I've seen, funniest plays that I've seen, sorry. And I definitely recommend that if you can get a ticket, to see James while he's still in the show, definitely try and do that. You might still be able to get tickets, return tickets or something. Otherwise, you can always day seat, or you can just wait until it opens at the Theatre Royal Haymarket with a different cast. It's still going to be amazing, I promise. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say now. I also got to meet James after the show at the stage door, and he was lovely. He was really nice. Okay, bye.